Hey, I love Spider-Man. I'm very excited to talk about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man with you, but you do have to be warned that there will be spoilers ahead. It's got the first two episodes of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Let's break down the first two episodes. I really enjoyed watching them. I think it is a fantastic show off to a fantastic start. The first episode gives us backstory on how Peter Parker got his powers, obviously with Doctor Strange fighting a symbiote creature through a portal. One can assume it's a different universe. There's some context clues, but we don't actually officially know. Aftermath of that battle, Peter Parker gets bit by the spider. The rest of the episode, seeing Peter Parker's life in high school, his friend groups, his love life, struggles of being Peter Parker. Also now balancing being Spider-Man as well, being late to class, skipping classes. He's very committed very early on with a suit that is very makeshift. It was really cool to see that he does have this confidence already. This version of Spider-Man, this version of Peter Parker seems much more sure of himself than we've seen in the past, which is an interesting take because I thought we've seen Peter Parker in high school 1,000 times too many. So the fact that we're getting a Peter Parker in high school that feels different than the rest is truly an achievement. Still has his insecurities, his anxieties, but he has this confidence about him. People seem to enjoy being around him and appreciate his brilliance. But when you start high, the drop off the cliff is going to be a long one. My favorite part about the first episode is how it actually ends. It mirrors exactly what happens in Captain America's Civil War, where Peter Parker first meets Tony Stark. However, in this universe, the way they prove that this Spider-Man is in a different universe, it's not connected to Tom Holland's Spider-Man, is that instead of meeting Tony Stark in Aunt May's apartment, he meets Norman Osborn. Now, here's one of my favorite things that this show is doing that no other Spider-Man iteration has done. Peter Parker has met Harry Osborn for the very first time in this episode. They are not friends. Looks like Peter Parker is going to have a relationship with Norman Osborn well before he has any type of relationship with Harry, with the episode ending with Norman Osborn giving Peter Parker an internship at Oscorp. Now, episode 2, we explore that internship just a little bit. We get to meet Dr. Connors, who in this show is a woman, which, by the way, none of you guys better complain about this. None of you guys were complaining in Into the Spider-Verse when Doc Ock was a girl. But in episode 2, we get to explore Peter Parker slowly getting more and more confident. His missions as Spider-Man are getting more dangerous. People are starting to recognize who he is. But more importantly, Norman Osborn finds out who Peter Parker is. But more importantly, Norman Osborn also takes a look at Spider-Man, and he figures out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man very early. Normally, we have a obsessed Osborn trying to figure out who Spider-Man is, trying to hunt him down. But now this show is setting up Osborn to be a mentor to Peter Spider-Man, his guy in the chair. Completely different than what we've ever seen before, and it's gonna make that relationship between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin so much deeper and more devastating. The stakes all around will be raised. One of the other things I really loved about this Peter Parker, this version of Spider-Man, which we haven't also really gotten to explore in other iterations, Spider-Man has always been incredibly eager to take down the criminals, especially when he first starts out as Spider-Man. Peter Parker has never been a strong kid. Now suddenly he's the strongest person in New York City. So desperately wants to use his powers for good that he is so eager to take people down, but you never really see him stop and consider, hey, is taking this person to jail the actual right thing to do? Or maybe are they having a bad day going through a rough time? In Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, we see Peter Parker's Spider-Man explore that thought for the first time. I feel like for the first time. Really shows his level of empathy and compassion for the people of New York, which truly makes him your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. My name is Berkan. If you love Spider-Man, if you want to continue talking about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man with me, be sure to hit that sub button and be back here tomorrow for day 44 of my 100-day YouTube challenge.